All right, so there were two trends. One is a downtrend. It's a counter downtrend, and the nature of downtrends, because they're counter trends, not the nature of downtrends, but the nature of downtrend is you have small reward. For the same amount of risk, you have small reward, and they're typically more subject to upthrust and springs. And so basically you have less reward and less something else. So probability of success. That's the distinguishing feature between trends and downtrends from a pure trading perspective. Trends and counter trends from a pure traded perspective. In this, you had your biggest price volume down wave in 11 and 14 waves. Then it tapped and it just gave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 bricks. So, not that great. But after that, this pressure came in, 15.15 right here. Basically, the continuation is ready to go. And you see, in addition to that, very apparent, the volume increases on this 11. Why is that important? This is a minor breakout. You don't realize it, but if you see the 8 right here, you see the high of the wick. It's breaking out above that high of the wick. That's why the volume increased, because this is actually a breakout as it takes out the wick right here on the 8, the high. Because that high was an attempt to go up that failed, it went down, and then it broke out above it on heavy volume. Alright, and you know that when I talk about change in behavior, sign of strength, sign of weakness, etc., what increases their likelihood to work is what? If they A, have a breakout in them, and B, if they have some type of high volume pivot. So either right here where it goes from red to green, it should be high volume, and on a breakout, it should be high volume. They'll automatically increase the likelihood of them working. All right. Anyway, and that's exactly where it held. It goes up, pull back to test right here, hold, boom, go. Then you had about 314 stocks advancing, pulls back, tap, 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 lack of supply. Lack of supply. What does that mean? That means that as the market goes up, it comes back and there's no pressure or lack of pressure, which means what? Bottom line, it favors continuation. In this case, it favors a continuation to the upside. How do you know? This big green comes in finally over here and has that 1 bar follow through, offering the pullback test, and completes the uptrend. I don't know what's going to happen over here, but what I do know is you can gauge supply and demand from waves. This is probably, in my opinion, the simplest way to gauge supply and demand. Are there other ways? I know there's tons of ways to do it, but if you just think of an uptick and a downtick, an uptick is a representation of demand and a downtick is a representation of supply, right? The ability for the market to go up 1 tick, the minimum amount, it happens when they clear out that particular price level and go up, and vice versa for a down tick. So if you just think of that, uptick and downtick, you can then take it a step further and think about an up wave and a down wave. An up wave, just like an uptick, is a representation of demand, and a down wave is a representation of supply. The difference is that up waves and down waves, unlike upticks and downticks, are key components of a trend. The trend is nothing more than a sequence of up waves and down waves, up wave, down wave, up wave, down wave, up wave, down wave, sequenced together. And the second thing is, it is not limited to a small amount. meaning it varies in the number of ticks in an up wave versus the number of ticks in a down wave. So that can quantify the demand versus the supply. Okay, so for example, you have an up wave of 30 ticks and down wave of 10 ticks. Which side is stronger? Up waves, demand. Anyway, so it's really important to keep it simple. It's really important to have an intuitive understanding, and then try to piece together whatever systematic approach you have. All right, thanks. Take care. Bye.